14 MOUs and MOAs exchanged between Malaysia and China. Drugs worth 13.5 million ringgit seized following raid in Puchong. Good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight and I'm Renee Fong. A total of 14 Memorandum of Understandings, Agreements, MOUs and MOAs, Protocol and Joint Statement involving 9 ministries have been exchanged between Malaysia and China today, witnessed by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and China Premier Li Qiang. The documents were exchanged during Li's official visit to Malaysia, which also marked his first visit to the country as Premier in conjunction with the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Malaysia and China. He is here for a 3-day official visit beginning Tuesday. 9 ministries involved are the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, MITI, Finance, Agriculture and Food Security, Housing and Local Government, Home Affairs, Science, Technology and Innovation, MOSTI, Higher Education, MOHE, Tourism, Arts and Culture and Communications. Besides the MOUs, Malaysia and China also inked the second cycle of the Malaysia-China 5-year program for economic and trade cooperation to deepen further linkages between industries in priority sectors like high-level manufacturing and digital economy. Earlier, both leaders had a closed-door meeting to discuss bilateral relations between Malaysia and China and exchanged views on regional and international issues of mutual interests. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and visiting China's Premier Li Qiang came together today in a significant display of bilateral cooperation to officiate the groundbreaking ceremony for the East Coast Rail Link ECRL Gombak Integrated Terminal Station. Located on an 8.73-hectare site, the station is also expected to link with the existing Gombak LRT station to facilitate connectivity via the LRT Kerana Jaya line. Today's event paves the way for the scheduled completion of the ECRL rail alignment from Kota Baru, Kelantan to the Gombak Integrated Terminal in Selangor by December 2026.
ECRL ini akan menjamin pertumbuhan rantau yang dianggap lebih kurang dari segi persaingan dan tidak punya keupayaan untuk bersaing, melainkan kita sediakan prasarana yang cukup baik. Dan prasarana yang disediakan termasuk Kelantan, Terengganu dan Pahang. Itu akan memberikan ruang supaya kita boleh menyaksikan pertumbuhan ekonomi yang lebih segar di negeri-negeri berikut.
Meanwhile, Malaysia Rail Link Sdn Bhd MRL in a statement said the ECRL alignment between Gombak and Port Klang is expected to be completed by December 2027. The 665-kilometre ECRL that begins from Kota Baru and ends at Port Klang will feature 20 stations, comprising 10 passenger-only stations and another 10 stations combining passenger and freight. The groundbreaking ceremony is part of the events for Li's 3-day official visit to Malaysia in conjunction with the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Malaysia and China. Let's move on to the state of Kelantan, where the Nenggiri state seat is confirmed vacant starting today. And Kelantan State Assembly Speaker Datuk Muhammad Amar Nik Abdullah said the decision was made after the Kelantan State Assembly received a written notice under clause subsection 3 of Article 31A of the State Constitution from Nenggiri Assemblyman Muhammad Azizi Abu Naim on 13th June. He said apart from that, Bersatu on 12 June also informed that Muhammad Azizi's Bersatu membership had been revoked and subsequently the seat is vacant. The State Assembly Speaker also said according to Clause 4, subsection 4, Article 31A, the vacant seat must be filled within 60 days from the date EC, Election Commission, receives the vacancy notice. He said the matter also involved the development of the Nenggiri State Assembly seat after Muhammad Azizi, who is also the Member of Parliament for Gua Musang, had previously pledged his support to Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. He said his jurisdiction as Speaker only declares a vacancy that the EC will determine when the seat will be filled within 60 days from the date the EC receives the vacant seat notice. Previously, the media reported that 6 members of parliament and 1 assemblyman of Bersatu were revoked of their membership with immediate effect after failing to respond to a letter from the Supreme Leadership Council to pledge allegiance to the party. We're still on Kelantan. The government has agreed to carry out a cloud seeding operation, OPA, in Kelantan from 21st to 23rd June to address the depletion of the Kelantan River and to mitigate the impact of the hot weather phenomenon and the southwest monsoon, which is expected to persist. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, who is also chairman of the Central Disaster Management Committee, JPBP, said this follows a request by the Kemubu Agricultural Development Authority, coordinated through the National Disaster Management Agenda, NADMA, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, the Malaysian Meteorological Department, and the Royal Malaysian Air Force, RMAF. He also approved the use of 5 million ringgit from the National Disaster Relief Trust Fund, KWABBN, to ensure the success of the operation. Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid said the low rainfall recorded from February to April this year has contributed to the depletion of the Kelantan River's water level and disrupted the operation of pumps across the Kada area. According to him, for the Kemubu pump house to operate fully, the Kelantan River needs to reach a water level of 4.90 meters, but Kada recorded only 2.19 meters in the second week of April. He also urged NADMA and KPKM to report the details of the results of the cloud seeding operation on 23rd June. Police seized drugs worth 13.5 million ringgit from a drug distribution syndicate following a raid on a 2-story terrace house in Puchong, Selangor at 12:50 p.m. last Monday. Bukit Aman Narcotics Crime Investigation Department NCID Director Dato' Kau Kok Chin said a 36-year-old local man believed to be involved in storing and packaging drugs at the house since early this year was arrested in the joint operation conducted with Kelantan NCID. He said investigations found that the suspect also used a modified car compartment capable of concealing up to 80 kilograms of drugs to evade authorities' detection. The compartment, which is behind the car's rear seats, could only be accessed with an access card once the engine is started.
71 bungkusan plastik bertulisan Tie Kuan Ying, iaitu anggaran berat 73 kilogram ketamin. Anggaran berat 73 kilogram ketamin dan 300 bungkus plastik bertulisan Kuan Ying Wang. Anggaran berat 308 kilogram shabu.
Briefing reporters today, Kao said the suspect used the modified car to deliver drugs in the Klang Valley area, earning 6,000 ringgit per delivery. The suspect has no prior criminal record and his urine test was also negative and has been remanded for 7 days until 24th June. Investigations are carried out under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. A petrol station was raided after its operator was found selling subsidized RON 95 petrol to a foreign registered vehicle. The raid was conducted by the Malacca Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry KPDN. State Director Norena Jaafar today said the ministry raided the station following the discovery of a viral video on June 16th. The video showed a person in a vehicle believed to be from a neighbouring country buying subsidized petrol. A man believed to be a foreign national was making payment of 23 ringgit and 17 cent via an outdoor payment terminal to buy petrol.
Dan semua kalau kita tengok semua stesen minyak kita ada notis larangan tersebut. Yang dianya actually dah berkuasa since 17 Jun 2022. So tak ada isu mengenai pengusaha stesen minyak tidak tahu ataupun pekerja tidak tahu warga asing untuk membeli RON 95. Maknanya tidak ada alasan untuk tidak tahu.
Norena said the petrol station operator might face penalties of up to 1 million ringgit in fines, imprisonment for up to 3 years or both upon conviction. The Inland Revenue Board, LHDN, has identified several individuals and companies engaged in cryptocurrency trading as part of efforts to curb tax revenue leakage and enhance national tax administration. LHDN Chief Executive Officer Dato' Dr. Abu Tariq Jamaluddin said the high frequency of cryptocurrency trading transactions has prompted LHDN to review data for potential tax implications. He said profits derived from cryptocurrency trading are taxable.
Kita sedang menyemak data-data yang kita telah perolehi bagi menentukan sama ada berlaku isu percukaian ataupun tidak. Kita tahu bahawa dalam sesuatu keadaan jika jumlah transaksi adalah tinggi dan sebagainya, apa-apa daripada keuntungan kripto ini juga tertakluk kepada cukai.
He said this to reporters after presenting certificates to participants of the Tax Corporate Governance TCG program today. Recently, LHDN launched Ops Token in collaboration with the Police and Cybersecurity Malaysia CSM to combat tax revenue leakage in cryptocurrency trading, covering 10 locations across the Klang Valley. Dato' Abu Tariq emphasized that individuals engaged in cryptocurrency trading in Malaysia are liable for income tax. Still ahead in our business segment, Malaysia-China established joint working group to enhance trade efficiency. Malaysia and China today also signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU for the Science and Technology Expertise Exchange Program as an extension of the Science, Technology and Innovation Cooperation Agreement signed between the two countries on 4th October 2013. Among other things, the MOU will lead the scope of cooperation to include exchange programs of scientists and researchers, partnerships between research institutions as well as joint organization of academic programs and conferences with the involvement of international scientists and researchers. The exchange of MOU documents was witnessed by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation Chang Lee Kang in a statement today said the move is in line with the new Industrial Master Plan NIMP 2030, which strategically focuses on economic growth towards innovation-driven industrial development and involves higher value-added activities. Through bilateral cooperation between Malaysia and China, which involves enhancing capacity and expertise in various STI industries, Chang said it will contribute to the empowering a workforce of highly skilled and knowledgeable talents who are able to drive the development of high-impact strategic industries in the country. More development on Malaysia and China. Now that both countries have also agreed to establish a joint working group on single window cooperation to identify the best strategies for implementing single window cooperation. This initiative, spearheaded by the Finance Ministry under the National Single Window NSW program, was announced by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. Datuk Sri Anwar, who also serves as Finance Minister, highlighted that the single window cooperation could significantly enhance the efficiency of cross-border trade clearance. This would be achieved by digitalizing trade regulatory processes, eliminating redundant documentation, and facilitating seamless and accurate information exchange among stakeholders and trade partners. Elaborating further on the matter through a statement released, the Premier said efforts to develop single window cooperation also fulfill the Madani Economy Framework's aspirations, which emphasized digital transformation and ease of doing business as key thrusts to accelerate economic development. The agreement on single window cooperation was formalized in a joint statement by the Ministry of Finance of Malaysia and the General Administration of Customs of China. This statement was signed by Malaysia's Minister of Finance II, Datuk Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan, and China's Minister of General Administration of Customs, Yu Zhenhua. And adding on to that, Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said Malaysia and China have agreed to implement another cycle of a 5-year program for economic and trade cooperation, which was first established in 2013. The program, which will run from 2024 to 2028, aims to deepen cooperation in existing areas such as trade and investment, manufacturing, agricultural infrastructure, the digital economy, logistics, and the development of small and medium enterprises. To strengthen ties between the two countries, Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul and China's Minister of Commerce, Wang Wentao, signed and exchanged 3 key documents today, witnessed by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim and Chinese Premier Li Qiang. The first document signed relates to the initial Malaysia-China 5-year program for economic and trade cooperation in 2013, highlighting that the program had significantly boosted bilateral trade and deepened economic cooperation. Additionally, 2 new Memorandum of Understanding MOU were signed to increase high-quality investment in the digital and green economies. MITI also welcomes the Malaysia-China cooperation on establishing a single-window system to facilitate cross-border trade by streamlining trade regulatory processes and simplifying documentation. An update in East Malaysia, where Sabah-based integrated property developer KTI Landmark Berhad is bullish about the state's property market, with more residential project launches planned. Executive Director Wilson Loke said after the company's listing on Bursa Malaysia's ACE market that a rebound in tourism also drove Sabah's growing property market. KTI Landmark made a flat debut at 30 cents on the ACE market of Bursa Malaysia today, with 7.6 million shares traded at the opening going.
Share price to us, we look at the long run. So even the opening, if it's not fully green, we're okay. We look at the long run. We understand that the property sector, it's a more challenging sector among all the other sectors, and we have been remaining resilient for the past 45 years throughout our company. So we remain steadfast in it.
The company said in a statement that it had raised 48 million ringgit from its initial public offering exercise to partly fund its acquisition of land for development amounting to 18 million ringgit. The property developer is poised to launch 2 residential projects with a combined gross development value GDV of 599.6 million ringgit by 2028. Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Gordon Loke said these upcoming launches encompass a diverse range of offerings, including 3 phases of affordable landed homes in Sandakan and a mixed development at Ayuria Place, Alam Mesra in Kota Kinabalu. Bursa Malaysia Berhad has confirmed that discussions with Mulia Property Developments near Berhad about relocating to Tun Razak Exchange TRX are ongoing, with details yet to be finalised. Elaborating further on the matter, the stock exchange operator said in a Boris filing yesterday that further announcements will only be made when there is a material development on the matter. Bursa Malaysia stated in response to two articles titled Bursa Malaysia Mulling Move to TRX and in final negotiation stage Bursa Malaysia's headquarters to be moved to TRX, published recently. The articles claimed that Bursa Malaysia and Mulia Property are in the final stages of negotiations to move the exchange's headquarters to TRX. If the move materializes, Bursa Malaysia is likely to occupy 2 stories of the exchange 106 building. Mulia Property is the developer of the 106-story exchange 106 at TRX. Bursa Malaysia currently occupies a 16-floor office complex called Exchange Square, located in Bukit Kewangan. The Kuala Lumpur rubber market ended mixed today, tracking benchmark crude oil prices and regional rubber futures markets. A dealer said that crude oil prices turned mixed today as concerns over escalating conflicts in Europe and West Asia offset demand worries following an unexpected increase in the United States U.S. oil inventories. Nevertheless, further losses were capped as traders digested improved global natural rubber demand outlook forecast by the Association of Natural Rubber Producing Countries and tight rubber supply concerns as major producer Thailand forecasts bad weather conditions in the near term. He noted that market sentiment was supported by reinforced expectations of the Federal Reserve interest rate cut following soft U.S. economic data. The Malaysian Rubber Board's MRB price for standard Malaysian rubber 20 SMR20 fell by 3 cents to 804 cents per kilogram, while latex in bulk remained unchanged at 792 cents per kilogram. At 5 p.m., the MRB reference price for physical SMR20 stood at 802 cents per kilogram, while latex in bulk was at 789.5 cents per kilogram. Nvidia became the world's most valuable company, dethroning tech heavyweight Microsoft as its chips continue to play a central role in a race to dominate the market for artificial intelligence. Shares of the chip maker climbed 3.2%, lifting its market capitalization to $3.326 trillion just days after overtaking iPhone maker Apple to become the second most valuable company.
It's a bit surprising. They certainly are in a business that should have substantial growth. And obviously investors are already accounting for that. What my concern would be is whether how long the growth can be sustained, and are the valuations kind of reasonable enough that we wouldn't have to have a huge huge growth or very prolonged growth to really be able to justify buying the stock.
The stock has surged about 173% so far this year, compared with a rise of about 19% in Microsoft shares, with demand for its top-of-the-line processors outpacing supply. The company's market value expanded from $1 trillion to $2 trillion in just 9 months in February, while taking just over 3 months to hit $3 trillion in June. Central Bank Governor Pan Gongsheng said today that China will maintain an accommodative monetary policy and enhance counter-cyclical and intertemporal adjustments. This strategy will help facilitate economic recovery and create a favorable monetary and financial environment for economic and social development. Pan also stated that China has taken firm steps to prevent the risks of exchange rate overshooting, resulting in the RMB exchange rate remaining stable in complicated circumstances. He noted that this year, major advanced economies have postponed the timing of their monetary policy reversals, and the China-US interest rate spread has continued to be relatively high. He emphasized that by allowing the market to play a decisive role in the formation of exchange rates, China's central bank has maintained exchange rate flexibility while strengthening expectations guidance and taking firm steps to prevent exchange rate overshooting. As major economies gradually reverse their monetary policies this year and the dollar appreciation weakens, the difference between the monetary policy cycles at home and abroad is narrowing. These factors combined will help to stabilize the RMB exchange rate and balance cross-border capital flows, providing more room for China's monetary policy maneuvers. More on China, where its total amount of trade logistics in 2023 expanded 5% from the previous year to 126.1 trillion yuan, according to a report released by China Federation of Logistics and Purchasing. The report, namely China Trade Logistics Development Report 2023, pointed out that last year the layout of the trade logistics network in China improved continuously, while the construction of country-level commercial systems kept accelerating. By the end of 2023, the country had renovated a total of 899 county-level logistics distribution centres. It also reported that the infrastructure for cold chain logistics was further improved and upgraded. Meanwhile, customized logistics services for the catering industry developed rapidly, where the annual circulation scale of ingredients reached 6.1 trillion yuan and the market size of fresh cut vegetables exceeded 300 billion yuan. Experts said that trade logistics is an important pillar for the modern circulation system and a key node to connect production and consumption. With the coordinated efforts and effects of various macro policies and measures, consumer demand in China continues to recover, and the country's trade logistics will enter a stage of moderate growth from restorative growth. British inflation returned to its 2% target in May for the first time in nearly 3 years, as the economic effect of the COVID-19 pandemic and Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine faded. The fall in inflation will be welcomed by both Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and the Bank of England, but likely has come too late either to turn around Sunak's fortunes at next month's election or to prompt a BOE rate cut on Thursday. The drop in annual consumer price inflation from April's 2.3% reading was in line with economists' median expectation in Reuters' poll and marks a sharp decline from the 41-year high of 11.1% reached in October 2022. The fall has been sharper than the Eurozone or the United States, where consumer price inflation in May was 2.6% and 3.3% respectively, bellying concerns a year ago that British inflation was proving unusually sticky. And that concludes this evening's Malaysia Tonight. In a top story, 14 MOUs and MOAs exchanged between Malaysia and China. Do tune in to World Today coming up tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. on TV2. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. I'm Renee Fong. Thanks for watching and have a pleasant evening.